Okay, so Dave Chappelle has just been attacked by a crazy, crazy person that couldn't take a joke. So here we have Dave Chappelle. And the fact is, this guy didn't even hit him. He didn't even touch him. He just missed completely. Missed completely. And on top of that, he's going to end up in jail. So basically, he lost his freedom. He lost his life for something he couldn't even achieve. So he's going to be thinking, oh, maybe if I just turned to the right a little bit, I could have actually gotten Dave Chappelle. Well, here we are, and he's still, I don't know if this guy was trying to kill him. I don't know if he was trying to hug him. I don't know. This guy's crazy, but he attacked Dave Chappelle. Let's rewatch this. And he just completely sidesteps him like it's nothing. Look, he doesn't even hit him. He doesn't even touch him. This generation. Now, I know I'm a part of this generation, but, just people in general, they just don't know how to take a joke. They don't know how to laugh anymore. They think everything's like this life or death situation. People can't even make jokes without being offended anymore, and it's just insane. It's crazy how people just think they can physically attack someone over something they said. I mean, words cannot hurt you unless they say, oh, I'm going to kill you. But that's the threats of physical violence. But, most of the time, 99.9% of the time, words will not hurt you. It's impossible. It's physically impossible for words to hurt you, and somehow this guy couldn't control his emotions enough to realize that. Comedians, actors, professional entertainers, musicians, they're all being attacked. America is about to become this desolate country where there's no sort of culture, there's no sort of anything really. There's no sort of anything because people will be too afraid to speak out. That's where this country's headed. People aren't saying what's really on their mind anymore because they're saying, hey, what if the guy sitting next to me, he's offended and he pulls out a knife and he freaking stabs me? That's how scary things are getting. People really cannot get a hold of their emotions. Grown, we're talking 30, 40-year-olds not being able to control their emotions. And not only that, but to act on it. To not even see the fact that it's an emotion and just try to calm yourself down. To lunge at a comedian whose show you are at that you paid for, that's just completely insane. Completely, the types of jokes Dave Chappelle brings to the table. And they're just jokes. You can make jokes about anything, anyone. That's protected under free speech because there's no way you can actually have a judge dictate what is free speech and what is a joke, what is not a joke. You can't. That's why freedom of speech is protected under the Constitution. So we have this nutcase. No critical thinking.
Whenever you're in trouble, Jamie Foxx will show up in a sheriff's hat.
And, it's crazy because even in that face of danger, Dave Chappelle is still able to crack jokes off the dome. Okay, and the guy that attacked him, he's looking stupid. Looks pretty stupid. He looks like a kid, an immature, selfish, spoiled brat. And Dave Chappelle, he's looking like the mature, responsible adult that doesn't let feelings get in his way, who can tell a joke about anything because, it's life. We all have different perspectives and we can see humor in anything. Doesn't matter because there's literally millions of ways you can perceive life. You can perceive it in a funny way, you can perceive it in a sad way, you can perceive it in an angry way. You can't dictate what people's perception on reality is going to be. That's impossible. So all this protected under free speech. Lock this man up. Lock him up. Throw away the key. Throw away the key. Why do we keep protecting these pieces of garbage? They have no regard for anybody else. They don't care about anybody else's personal life, because this guy was attempting to probably do serious bodily harm to Dave Chappelle. Maybe if he would have actually tackled him, he could have tackled him to the ground, broke his back, had him paralyzed for life, and completely ruined his life. Or maybe he landed on his head, cracked his skull open. He's dead. So just lock this bozo up. I don't understand why he's still being allowed to walk freely. People like this are, after their 10th, 20th, 30th conviction, the judge lets him go, overcrowding, and then he's just free to roam the streets. Who knows what he's done leading up to this moment? It's just crazy. I can understand your first time getting locked up. I can understand your second time getting locked up. I can understand your third, fourth, fifth, maybe. But these guys are just career criminals. No regard, no respect for anything, especially the common American citizen. And all they see is personal gain. What can I gain out of this? How can I satisfy my temporary emotional state by attacking Dave Chappelle? Which is what that guy did. It's a crazy world we're living in. People don't think logically anymore. People aren't. Really, people are so overworked now, working like 78-hour weeks, that they don't even have time to think. They don't have time to just sit out on the lawn in a chair, crack open a few beers, and ponder about life. They don't do that anymore. No. People are in an emotional, delusional state that can be called psychosis, because really they're not thinking logically. So obviously that is a form of psychosis. People don't even think to understand what life is anymore. It's all about how they can get what they want at that moment. Doesn't matter how many people they have to screw over. And comedians are a selfless act, because he's putting on entertainment for the masses. He's making you laugh. And a lot of these comedians, they give life stories on touchy subjects. They tell life stories about their past traumas, and they turn it into a funny way. So that shows they can actually laugh at themselves. There's no need to be offended or censoring other people's opinions, because it will ultimately lead to it's just bad. You won't even be able to imagine how bad this world would be if freedom of speech did not exist. you'd be a slave. Okay, so I 100% support Dave Chappelle. You know, this guy, he's the guy that attacked him. He's just lock him up, throw away the key, don't let him out. Let him think for once in his life in a cold, dark jail cell. Let him think. He clearly wasn't thinking then. And Dave Chappelle, keep doing what you're doing. I might not agree with everything you say, but man, this guy is actually bringing a new perspective into this cold world. If he's able to bring in new perspectives and make people think on life in a positive light, and humor is a positive emotion, then yes, I support it 100%. Oh, who really cares what the subject of a joke is? As long as it's funny, you can make people laugh. Who cares? Who cares? These are artists. They're not getting paid from tax revenue. They're not government officials. They're just artists. That's all they are. Our tax money doesn't go towards them. They have taken no oaths. They should be able to say whatever they want, whenever they want, because they are artists.